Hey fellow prospectors, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story, episode 104, Copper Pit. So some of this peat we can bring up to the forge, because I use it to warm up the crucible. So it has a bit of a point up here as a fuel source. I'm also going to want to move the torch holder from my bedroom. Honestly, it's a bedroom now. Move the torch holder from the bedroom into the kitchen so that I have a fuel source next to the fire. So it's easier to light this. I'll even pre-fire it or preheat it. Or fuel it, whatever. Alright. So, current priority right now is keep the batch of steel running and look for copper for a distillery. Yeah, the bedroom and tannery being the same room is a little weird. My original intention was to have the tannery be under here, this direction. It's one of those things we never got around to. But yes, tanning liquids is extremely terrible for your health. So sleeping in a room that is a tannery is weird, arguably. But luckily, I'm not human. I'm an angel in the game. I'm a seraph, right? In game lore. So what is extremely bad for human health might not be the same for a seraph's. The other thing I'm going to need to check on, and right now it's -11, so now is not the time, but I should check on the ambient temperature outside so that when it's possible to start this is all cut back. When it's possible to start planting rye again, I start planting rye. I'm just getting some grasses for the animals to munch on. They're not gonna die, but they won't. Actually, there's not really a point short of role-playing. I mean, I'll feed them now. Oops, that's not where I want a fireplace. Oh my god, I'm putting fireplaces everywhere. There's not much point, because they're not going to die of a lack of being fed, which is just part of the game mechanics. They, don't starve, in other words. And because I killed the ram, it's not like they are going to get pregnant soon anyway. So, it actually doesn't really matter if I feed them. The argument to regularly feed them is so that they can get pregnant again. But, the point of me animal domesticating is to have generations and not for constant back-to-back pregnancies. Alright, let's pour that in and get mold before I forget. Because it's ready. Is it possible to flip a hopper upside down so it looks like a vent hood for cooking fire? You know, I don't know. That's a very fine question. I suppose you could, there's maybe other ways to have it be like cooking fire. Or a cooking hood. I'm trying to think if there's... I mean, you could do a riveted iron block and then, then... I don't know. I actually don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I think before I leave, it would make sense for me to have a little bit more of my own food needs met. Flash question here. Bread or porridge? What do you guys think? Porridge is going to be a little easier, but I can make bread if you want bread. Porridge, I just put, you know, the grains in here and it's done. But I'm happy to make bread if you want. Because I do have a clay oven and I'm not really using it. Speaking of clay oven, I think you have to put firewood in the clay oven. Like, other sources don't work. I don't think you can load it with peat. So I'm going to move some of my firewood upstairs for when I want to make bread. Actually, well, I can test my theory. Except for you can't take firewood out. So never mind. I'm pretty sure it's firewood only. Like, looks like Team Bread has won. So let's heat up the clay oven. I'm going to need to hook an axle up to my barn. No, I don't really have good pie filling, which is why I don't have pie as a possibility. Plus, nutritional-wise, I'm only really missing grain. I'm not missing anything else. So plain bread is fine. Not having to listen to the Hellfammer is kind of nice. It does wear on you after a while, or at least it does me. So we're getting the flour. And a little reminder about bread. Bread is, we're going to need to make dough. So I'm making spelt dough, which is a bucket of water and flour. So I'm going to need another bucket, in other words. And I don't have a source of water in my kitchen, in or around my kitchen. Well, actually, that's not true. I built it on a lake. So technically, there's like water down here. There's a whole pool of water down there. So it's actually pretty easy to get water, but like in a weird way. So there's some spelt dough. And bread oven's nice and hot. And we will try not to burn it, because I burned the only bread I've ever made last time. I'll just grind the rest of the spelt down, because its parish timing doesn't really effectively change. As you can see, 7 years, 14 years, it's not worse. The wiki says only firewood? Yeah, I figured. I mean, who wants peat as a... like, that sounds gross. Right? Alright, part baked. And we'll wait until it's full baked and pull it out. Maybe I'll make 2 more doughs so I can have another batch. I wish there was a way to provide heat from below. That would be pretty cool. Yoink. And then, because the clay oven is already still hot, you can just put more in. Oops. Put more of them in, and it works just fine. So this is fresh for 8 days. The rest of the bowls I have, I'll just put away here. That's why I have a table. I'll just stick these spelt back in and wait for this to bake. And then I'll be headed to copper. So about that. Native copper So there's some high native copper to my southwest. About 24 parts per thousand. That's a good, that's good. I'll head that way and try to find a copper vein. Happiness factor for homemade foods coming up. Oh, that'd be neat. I mean, you get huge nutritional boosts. Oh, there we go. And now, I'm sated. Alright, let's make sure that the... I don't think I'm going to be way long enough that this will matter. Let's just make sure that the 14... Yeah, that's fine. I'll put 4 more units of charcoal in, and then we'll get going. No, the back one burned down one. Will the milk spoil? No. I mean, it's still winter. It's still, like, very frozen out, but I can check on it. Thank you for reminding me. So it is currently curdled milk that is fresh for 22 days. And I can process that on my way home. Speaking of which, let's see if we can get a little bit more. Screw you, hippie. I hope my lamb are female. That would make me very happy. Alright, so I am headed here. Go here. I hope that the pruning hasn't changed my... Yeah, I hope the pruning hasn't changed the densities there. This game looks incredible. It's a lot of fun. I'll just eat some raw turnips on my way over too. So some of the game pruning, you're going to see some weird stuff as we head that way. I'm going to say the new color for resin trees, resin conformation, is going to be pink. So there's obviously not a resin tree here anymore. Delete. And I think I might go here. Let's make this cyan. There we go. Because it was blending. It was the same color as, like, low prospecting yield dots, which was confusing me. What is this? Planted pine seed? Oh. A planted pine over here? Alright. Crimson maple. I like the look of crimson maples. Well, while we're over here, we could check in on this resin-producing tree, if it still exists. It's still here. Make this pink. And harvest the resin. So, a little reminder to those that don't know. Resin-producing trees are... They will reproduce resin every week or so. Oh, we have another one. Every week or so, and they are never player planted. So if you need resin for whatever you're working on, it is absolutely in your best interest to mark it down and never cut those trees down as a result. To mark them on your map, or to place blocks near them, or some sort of denoting so that you know that A, you shouldn't cut the tree down, and B, that when you need resin, you can return to that spot for resin. And the reason I have to reconfirm is at the start of this stream and at the start of like 6 streams ago, I pruned my save game data, which means that all the resin producing trees that I had in the map tile hypothetically got wiped. So then I have to recheck them. So I'd marked down, I hadn't, oh. Yes, thank you, a vessel full of stone. What the hell? I've been so deeply trolled. No, I'm not going to bother searching for that one. Oh, there's ruins over here too. I really am only going to hit it if the vessels are like obvious at the surface. So there is some surface copper that we're passing by here. But I really want a deep vein a copper, one that I can rely upon if I want to make mass lanterns or something like that. But it was here. And there's 2 nuggets here, so it would probably be a pretty bad surface vein anyway. Oh, another thing that I haven't really been looking at is meteor strikes. That's another. I mean, I have a lot of meteor iron. I'm certainly not hurting for it, but it wouldn't hurt for me to look for impact craters. Although I don't see any at the moment. Just flax or spelt? No, that looks like rye, maybe? Spelt. Spelt. Just harvest the fully grown stuff. You know, I didn't realize how far this was. I'm like halfway there. I would have maybe not run all this way if I had acknowledged that it was this far. I do have some prospecting spots that had a chance for gold or silver, but I don't have enough gold or silver to make a brighter lantern, no. I'm pretty close to having the silver, and I know where a little bit of surface silver is. So if I went after that silver, I would probably have enough for at least one lined lantern. I'd imagine. But you know, the tasks I work on are voted on, and seeking that used to be part of the poll, and nobody really voted on. Why did I climb all the way up to just have to climb down? One thing that's interesting, and I'm sure I'm jinxing myself by saying this out loud, is no wolves or bears so far. I do have a steel falx, though. That's a really good weapon to use against them. Actually, you know what? It's really not that much better than the meteoric iron one. It would only really help me for the highest tier enemies. Ambient temperature is freezing, so let's go around. I don't really need to get hypothermic as I dig. Oh, and I went into the water anyway. But not enough to make me wet. Cool. So this is where I identified, and I'm going to reconfirm that this is the good spot for it to make sure that the pruning hadn't ruined this prospect point. Let's reconfirm that. Yes, ultra high native copper at holy hell, 26.8 parts per thousand. That is extraordinarily high. So down we go. And instead of a laddered mining pit, I'm going to do a stepped one. Copper usually is not that deep of a metal, so it's not like... I should have brought a spare pick, but it's not like I should expect to go down to like mantle here. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Let's put the lantern in the offhand. Hopefully it's not rubbish quality copper. Right, you can have a bountiful amount of poor quality copper. Like, that's entirely possible. And I'm doing a bit of like a spiral staircase so that I don't venture too far from the hotspot. What I should do is some node searching. See if it's nearby. No node nearby. All right. It also has decent zinc here, too. It's entirely possible that I find a node of zinc. And there's a small chance that I find some bismuth or iron down here as well. But I wouldn't count on that. Because it was, like, minuscule. Again, it's all chances. So there's a minuscule chance for, like, an iron vein down here. But if there is an iron vein, it would likely be just a normal-sized iron vein. It wouldn't be a minuscule one. The prospecting is all the likelihood of finding something. But if it does exist, you get, like, a normal quantity of it. So you could definitely find an iron vein when it says minuscule chance of iron, because, you know, that's how chance works. Alright, let's do another chunk search. Can't believe I forgot a backup pick. Well, still no node nearby. A line lantern definitely would help out running around at night. And I can add it to the pole once I have the kitchen stuff built. Because there is a known source of surface silver. With that said, I think when I'm done with getting this copper, I'm going to be probably making another batch of charcoal anyway. Just to make sure the steel is running. Because that is the biggest priority. So I forget what the surface is for 146. So I'm down about halfway down now from the surface. Really surprised I'm not getting anything on chunk search yet. We'll try again. Oh, I'm finding copper already. It's down here. Medium amounts nearby. So that means that I'm on the edge of the node. Probably. But I'm within 6 tiles of it if the chunk came up positive. So it's close. So I'm going to go down here and then I'll create side shafts. And then do chunk search at the end of the side shafts, like this, to see if I'm getting hotter or colder. So trace amounts, that means this is the wrong direction. Go over here and see if it's hotter. Oh yeah, well I don't need to do that. So I found it. Where's the vein? Is it above me? I know there's more down here, because the chunk search, there it is, yielded medium amounts, and I bet if I did another chunk search here, it'd be way higher than that. Large amounts, yeah. I'm actually surprised it's not higher than large amounts. I might be on the edge of the vein. Because as you can see, this isn't all that rich. Alright, medium amounts. Might be below me? I'm really confused as to where this is. There's like a lot of it around, large amounts. There's a lot of it around, and I can't seem to find it. Also, what's weird is it doesn't seem like the veins are connecting to one another, which is very strange. I could dig up. Maybe it's above me. Oh, it's above me. You're right. Some of it is. I don't know. This vein is weird as hell. So the why I'm saying it's weird is when you find a vein of stuff, the materials, the vein connects to one another like a 3D tic-tac-toe, you know? So this one cell here, you know, the next piece will be like connecting on some corner or edge. All right, we definitely hit it now. And the pieces that I found down there seemed to be like floating in a weird way, not connected to anything, which is just odd. But now we've hit pay dirt, so I'm fine. So I'm probably gonna mine until the pick breaks, because the pick doesn't have a ton of HP left. I don't know, or until my bag fills up. But a lot of my bag is full of just granite chunks that are virtually worthless. Really nice building materials that I use constantly, but I'm here for copper, not for chunks of stone. So let's do another chunk search around here. I bet it will be like ultra high or something like that. Nope, still large. Okay. This might not be a massive vein, but it's also probably, I would guess, like one of multiples. Because that tends to happen with copper, is when copper forms in like high yield areas, there's like a lot of smaller veins as well. Or it's just spread out enough that the chunk search is in the 6x6x6 zone that it's searching. Doesn't have a ton of it. So it could be like a long strand. If you know, imagine it being a long strand, the chunk search is never going to say that there's a ridiculous amount, because it's not one big clump, but it's stretched out. Yeah, I think because of the high hill terrain that I'm in, because of the terrain upheaval, that's why the pieces of this vein were like weirdly, oddly separated from one another. I think you're right about that. But it seemed to be separated by a lot, like 5-6 units up, down, which is just unusual, unless you're in like crazy sheer cliff, which I didn't think I was. It's a little hilly around here, but not like sheer cliff levels. I wonder if this is it. Trace amounts. Okay. Yep, that might be the trace right there. What is this? 94, so... Oh, I'm starting to hear drifters. See if there's any more around. Still trace. Let's work our way out. Be good if I found the staircase I started. Here we go. And then also, while I'm down here, another thing that I could do is just like poke around to see if I get hints of other veins. So like do another chunk search down here, and if it comes up no nearby, you know, if it came up with a node nearby, I would know that there's like more down here. Because what I was hoping to do is to have a place that I could return to for more copper when I needed it, but that might not be here, depending on how small these veins are. So I did actually just get trace copper here, so there might be another vein up this way. Or it might be the remainder of the original, although I wasn't really mining around here. So let's see. Keep doing chunk search. Still trace. I'm pretty far away from where I was mining originally, and I'm getting trace hits. None near that way. Let's go down. Trace that way. A whole bunch of trace is not really, I'm not starting a new mine shaft for that. Oops. Could be left and right. I'll try left and right. Also trace. I'm being tormented with like tiny little spots of copper everywhere. It's like a metal detector when someone's thrown like I don't know, thrown like kinetic sand everywhere. Metal detector's like, oh, there's a little bit of metal everywhere. You're like, oh, dang it. Just kinetic sand, man. Okay, maybe not that direction. I know the pick's about to break. Still trace. Because I don't really want to chase down anything that is just continually trace amounts. Unless it's the edge of a new vein. It's hard to tell whether it's an edge of a new vein or not, though. Without, you know, cheating or seeing through mountains. And there's small amounts of sulfurite this way. So there's a vein of zinc over yonder somewhere. I'm going to be leaving and coming back later anyway, because if you look at my pick durability, it's not going to hold up very long. Again, small amounts of zinc and trace copper. Trace copper, trace zinc, so I'm going the wrong direction. Small cassiterite. Oh, so there's 10 zinc and copper within 6 tiles of here. Okay. That's interesting. The zinc is not that direction. Maybe it's above me. Every direction seems to be the same, which it either indicates it's above or below. I'm guessing below. I just, what's my pick HP? It's low, but it'll hold up. Nope. It's just small amounts in every direction. So another reason why like I don't like to chase small or trace amounts is because it's such a it's so not a lot of metals that it's just difficult to find. You know? Like in huge amounts, you're gonna strike it and kind of in every direction, right? Like throwing a dart at a barn door. Whereas like small amounts is like threading needles. Way harder to find exactly. And yeah, I think this is the case where the verticality of my terrain has like kind of blown apart, making it easy to find. Alright, so with what little HP that I have left on my pick, because I don't want to actually destroy my pick and get stranded down here, like having to use my pro pick to get myself out, I'm going to work my way out of here. So I believe that this... Another reason why I did a circular staircase right underneath my, like, go here waypoint is so that I could really easily find the circular staircase again. Because I can just try to navigate to where I had marked on the map that I started my mining tunnel, and then it's very easy to find my way home that way. Oh, it's dark out. I'm scared. Well, could have been more successful, but it wasn't unsuccessful. Oh no! Drifters are killing me. Oh, they killed that chick. Or that chick drowned. I'm not really sure which. Probably drifters didn't kill the chick because they don't really attack animals. Probably a fox. So I'd marked down previously that there were chicken here. I wonder if that's still true. Doesn't seem it. So I'll head home, sleep if there's still... Yeah, it's midnight, so there should still be time to sleep when I get back. To accelerate the clock a little bit, after topping up the charcoal. Ooh, hello there. Shoot. Oh, alright, stack of stone. Definitely can go. I don't really care about the flax grain, but I did want the flax seeds. I'm trying to build up a massive supply of flax seeds so that I grow. That's often like what a lot of players will do year 2. Year 1, you're just like planting all the flax that you can possibly plant to try to get as much linen as you can. And then year 2, you usually use all the seeds that you, well, not usually, but often I hear the strategy is to plant all the flax seeds that you possibly have to get just a ridiculous amount of linen so you can complete all of your infrastructure projects like windmills, and then have linen left over for gambesons or for whatever other bandages, etc. That's a pretty good strategy. So it is -8 out. I think once the typical night, 3 nights in a row, is like no more than -10. Which is going to be hard to tell considering I'm like sleeping throughout the night. It might be time to then plant the rye. I could also plant like 1 rye now just to see how it fares. Yeah, or bombs. Bombs is another really good use for linen, for blasting charges if you have the other materials. Because you get 90% of the materials that you're looking to blast as yield, and you can harvest tons of materials that way relatively quick. How are the trees doing? They're probably still dormant, as it hasn't really warmed up enough for them to vernalize, but I can check on them. Maybe... Well, I'll check on them in the morning, though. I want to try to get as much sleeping done so we head towards springtime. Yeah, generally the cuttings won't do anything until they've exited dormancy. Oh, that's a pretty cool look from a distance. Got the whole base illuminated in the cementation furnace. I mean, I can tell that it has charcoal from here. It's cooking. It does look like it's burned down a bit, though. Let's put these stone away. I have so much stone in my inventory, I'm not going to be able to refuel anything. I'm going to combine some of the stone with soil. And then maybe some with... I don't have blue clay, but whatever. I use full blocks and slabs all the time, so I figure why not just make some extra building materials to save myself on storage. Oh, I accidentally got some zinc. I didn't even know. Okie dokie. It's kind of funny. At no point did I realize I actually hit a zinc node. Yeah, zinc is really hard to see in granite. Roughly the same color. Oh no. Didn't grab enough. I should just grab the whole stack and then shove it back when I'm done. So, running a little low on charcoal. That's going to be one of the high priorities of business tomorrow, especially if I'm going to make, especially if I'm making plates, copper plates, because we're going to need a lot of burning materials in order to do that. Oh, nice. That's another linen sheet. We almost have enough for another sale, if that's how we want to spend it. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story, which originally streamed live on Twitch, February 29th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.